Hello, I'm Super Orange Cat. Here I am with Toonami's ratings from July 31st, 2021. Let's start at the top of the block. At the top of the block, we have My Hero Academia at a 0.19, followed by another episode of My Hero Academia at a 0.16, then Yashahime at a 0.12, Food Wars at a 0.1, and Food Wars ending season 3 at another 0.1, Naruto Shippuden at a 0.06, and the numbers for Attack on Titan and Dragon Ball Super reruns have yet to come out. Overall, this was actually a pretty interesting week to dissect. This is a one-off because, again, we had to have a new schedule because we're not going to have two episodes of My Hero Academia every week. We're not going to have two episodes of Food Wars every week. So this is kind of an episode in a bubble. And at the start of the block, it looks like things are going amazing. My Hero Academia at a 0.19. I think that ties the highest season 5 has gotten on the block so far. So commendation there. And then you have this weird tiny 300ths of a drop, which you could be just like, well, it's just okay retention, but it's the same exact show, you know. And it's only one back in rankings for the cable rating rankings for Saturday. First episode of My Hero Academia was 6th, and the second one was 7th overall, which is pretty good. Toonami used to be a guarantee to be in the top 10. Now it's only once in a while, and Toonami had two shows technically in the top 10 this week, which is pretty interesting, especially considering the amount of cable coverage that the Olympics had. More on the Olympics in a moment. And then after that, yeah, this is when it starts getting a little bad. You have Yashahime dropping 400s from My Hero Academia, and I believe 300s from last week to a 0.12. I mean, Yashahime has been a very mixed bag so far. You're gonna have one week where it's under zero point 0.1, and the next one it has the highest ratings in the block. And it's this weird yo-yo effect I don't quite understand, and I don't think anyone else understands. But we're stuck with it for a while. I think there's still 20 something episodes at least to go. I think it was a long season for season 1. Then you had the final 2 episodes of Food Wars. And what I thought was interesting was that the actual season 3 finale at 2 o'clock actually slightly outrated the Food Wars at 1:30. They both have a 0.10 rating, but in terms of how it was ranked on Spoiler TV, you had the season finale at a 28th overall, and the before that at 31st overall. And then it kind of gets very interesting because Shippuden had an off week, a 0.06 overall. This might be the lowest Shippuden's ever actually had on the block. But Shippuden, even though of course it doesn't bring in massive numbers, does steady enough really. And I'm surprised it fell this much from Food Wars, especially considering that there has been a few occasions this season alone where Shippuden has built on Food Wars. So kind of a disappointment there. And it falls to 62nd in the rankings. So yeah, that was kind of an interesting week to analyze here. And now back to what I mentioned earlier about the Olympics. I predicted last week that the Olympics were going to completely bury Toonami. Well, of course, the Olympics had higher ratings than Toonami, but at the same time, the Olympics have had historically low ratings. And I don't mean cable cutting amount of historically low. I mean, people are making a very active movement to not watch this year. I think I saw somewhere where it's the Rio Olympics on the second Saturday had a 6 point something in the ratings. This past Saturday only had a 1.6, which for a live sporting event is decent, but it's definitely not the numbers that NBC was asking its advertisers. And there's rumors that apparently advertisers have asked for NBC to give money back because they were told they're going to have much higher ratings than they did. And you can't even say it's streaming because I tried, they've been advertising throughout the whole Olympics of, oh, watch online. All the sports are online. And I wanted to watch Olympic baseball considering that they've really shafted at this Olympics. The only Olympic baseball game they've shown any bit of I've seen was when the U.S. played Japan a couple days ago. But I did it, and it's only a 30-minute free trial, or else you have to sign in with your cable provider. I'm not going to do that, so yeah, you only get 30 minutes free basically. So people aren't watching that way. So people are just tuning it out, and it doesn't help that the United States have had a pretty bad Olympics. Olympics far below expectations. They're leading in total medal count as I make this, but they are trailing to China in the gold medal count, which some people consider is more important. So kind of a disappointing Olympics. People don't want to watch that, and some people instead decided to watch Toonami, which is why I think Toonami had these for expectations a decent week, especially up top. I have no idea what the hell happened towards the end of the block here. Food Wars has kind of stopped being the draw it was. And seasons 1 and 2, Food Wars was regularly hitting a point too. And I think it was because of kind of that bit of a shock factor from having an etchy show on the block. But I think that's worn away a bit, and it's just not. I mean, outside of that, you have season 3 and 4, which are generally far lesser like the seasons 1 and 2 of Food Wars. I've heard horrible things about specifically season 4. And yeah, Toonami stuck with that. Some people say Yashahime gets bad towards later on the season, so Toonami stuck with that. The more you look at it, all they really have now is My Hero Academia, and that's not going to last forever. I think they run out of episodes in October. So it'll be interesting to see how Toonami deals with that. But again, we have originals. We have Fina confirmed for 2 weeks from now on August 14th. And sometime this fall, we don't have an exact date nailed down yet. We have Blade Runner Black Lotus going to air. And I was interested because they showed like Toonami, not Toonami, Adult Swim had this kind of sizzle reel of like shows we have upcoming this fall. And they have like two very brief clips of what I think is supposed to be Black Lotus, and they kind of the animation from what little bits I have kind of remind me of Star Wars Clone Wars a bit, which is generally a good thing considering that was a pretty well received show at the time. But I'm going on and on about stuff that's not even in the ratings anymore. So to wrap it up, to give a brief update about where the schedule's going to be, next week, August 7th, will be a Harley Quinn marathon of the 2019 animated series, which I didn't even know existed. And then the week after that, August 14th, is when we have the Fina Pirate Princess 1 hour premiere starting at midnight. And I believe Black Cloak, it's either, I think My Hero Academia takes a week off on the 14th. The rest of the schedule is the same. And then on the 21st, we will have a new, somewhat permanent schedule, at least until the next show leaves the block, where we have Fina Pirate Princess leading off, followed by My Hero Academia, and then the rest of the schedule is the same as it was the past few weeks. So a lot of change upcoming. It'll be interesting to see how many people tune in for the Harley Quinn marathon. Remember when we had the DC movie marathons last year? Both Batman weekends and the Wonder Woman weekend came in with pretty decent ratings. It'll be interesting to see if that carries on for Harley Quinn, considering I don't think anyone's actually looking forward to Suicide Squad 2. I have no idea why they're even making a sequel to it. What do you guys think? What's your opinions on the shows on the block now? Leave your comments, leave your opinions down below. I am the Super Orange Cat, and that is all.